Hello, everybody. My name's Jacob Ferguson, and this is Seashell. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll put you down. I'm sorry. And we just watched season 8 of All Stars, episode 4. Isn't that right, Seashell? Who was your favorite character? Okay, well, she's not in the competition anymore. I'm sorry, Monica Beverly Hills. You get it. Anyway, this week the queens were challenged to write commercials or pilots for scripted TV series, and category on the runway is As the World Turns. Now, right off the bat, I have to say the judging was a little bit off, at least in my opinion. Also, I am wearing an India Farah shirt. I know we don't really like her anymore, but this is the one that Drag Queen Merch sent me like a year ago before the incident happened. So, it's what I have. I kind of wanted to get rid of it, but decided not to, considering the fact that I am in South Carolina and nobody would want to buy this. Also, y'all, the elephant is still up. He's doing his best. I'm gonna put bags on him sooner or later. Anyway, let's get into these runways and this challenge. So first and foremost, when we enter the workroom, Mrs. Kosh Davis is gone to begin with. And I have to say, I will miss Mrs. Kosh Davis. I feel like she would have done well in the challenge. And we get to see the aftermath of Heidi in Closet wanting to quit. She goes, "No, I don't really want to quit now. That was just a struggle." I still think that she's probably going to quit because obviously I don't really necessarily, because of next episode, I think that she might quit. If she makes it, I don't know. It's Snatch Game, she probably will. Anyway, we get to see the aftermath of that, and Darian Lake was almost sent home. If the group had voted, she would not have been sent home, but still, there was 4-5, which means that it was a bad ratio. So Darian's kind of flying by the seat of her pants. And then RuPaul enters with her pixie cut and proceeds to talk to them about the challenge, and then says for the mini challenge, to decide the teams, we're going to play the pit crew balloon popping thing. I'm glad that this is like a new thing that they're deciding to do. My mom hates it. My mom comes from a time period, the 60s, where, that was seen as scandalous. My straight brother watches this, and he isn't bothered by it. And I'm sitting there going, what a great way to pick teams. There was a thing on Twitter that was like, I can't believe the pit crew and blah, 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 and how, how scandalous it must be, and people clap back with, this is their time to be a himbo, on TV. Let them do it. It's not hurting anybody. And I think of that tweet each time my mom talks about how the pit crew is, over-sexualizing men and stuff like that. That's a little bit weird. But, I like this way of picking teams. I think that it is the most fair. It either has green, blue, or purple confetti. Whichever one you get, that's the team that you were on. So our teams are Kahana Montrese, Heidi in Closet, and Lala Bree, Candy Muse, Jimbo, and Jessica Wilde, and James Mansfield, Darian Lake, and Alexis Michelle. So first and foremost, this can be about anything, and all of them kind of took it in the thriller aspect. Like a horror type thing. Immediately, the first one that stood out to me was Lala Bree's team's idea. I think that was really funny for them to do. So I think that, off to a great start in the workroom. Jimbo and Candy arguing and Jessica just sitting there is a mood. that's me, and that's like my brother whenever my mom and I get into an argument, or my mom whenever my brother and I get into an argument. She's just sitting there going, "Can y'all just shut up? It's about cats. It's not even a valid argument." Like, so that happens. And Darian and James kind of come up with this idea of Lost, but it's with dead celebrities. And Alexis Michelle goes, "I don't really think that that's a good idea, but I'm going to go along with it because that's what the group wants." Which comes back to bite her in the butt later. So they get to the stage. They are talking with Michelle Visage, and they perform little snippets of what ultimately will be their commercial pilot thing. And I have to say that, Lalaurie and Heidi and Kahana are the best team up there. I think that they really knew what they were going for. Kahana was like, "I don't want to be this pretty girl. I want to be, seen as an actress." And something that I said out loud to Mom and Bennett when I was watching it was, I was like, "But wouldn't it be funny if you played into the fact that you're pretty? Like, these guys are trying to catch you, and so you don't lead on that you're that they're trying to capture you. You are so aloof and into yourself that, like, accidents happen. It's like you know what's that? It's like on the tip of my brain. I guess it'd be like a Scooby Doo type thing, where like they're like checking out like a mirror and something, and the monster comes up behind them. And they go, "Ooh, a penny," and then they pick it up, and the monster like falls or something like that. Like that sort of is hilarious to me, and I think that that would really work for Drag Race. I think that having that kind of being your whole thing is that she's so pretty, that she's so aloof, that these guys are trying to capture her, you know. But at the end, she goes, "The tucking panties," all of that. And I think that that was a good idea. I don't like that they showed the ending of the sort of thing, like the big reveal. But I get it. I mean, you have to have a fully fledged story. But I'm like, yeah, but when would this be a commercial? I think it would be a great acting challenge, but when would this be a commercial? You know what I'm saying? Um, Alexis is Agnes Morstead, I think. I think that whole group was just misguided. I think that the dead celebrities thing was a good idea, but it needed more characters. You kind of need more of a punch. And I really liked what my mom said. She said, "What if the cast of Gilligan's Island showed up? Not the actual characters, but like the original cast of Gilligan's Island showed up on this island with you. So you have Ginger and you have, you know, the captain showing up, and they're like, what the fudge?" I would have loved it if Amelia Earhart showed up. You have Agnes Morstead and Marilyn Monroe, but like, I think it would be funny if it was like, if there was a African American in the group, Tupac, like having all these dead celebrities that were like missing. You can't find them. In fact, 1 minute. I'll look something up. Moorhead, excuse me. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, Agnes Moorehead, um, I think was a very interesting person. I just saw something I need to see real fast. She played the goose in Charlotte's Web. She was also in Pollyanna. I love Pollyanna. Was it the Pollyanna of Legend? 1 minute. I'm gonna guess that it was the Pollyanna that my brother and I watched. My brother and I were watching movies on Disney Plus that were just, looked weird, and Pollyanna was one of them, and my brother really liked Pollyanna. So, anyway, Agnes Moorehead, she had an interesting death. I mean, I think that they got the assignment down pat. I just think that, if you don't know who Agnes Moorehead is, it's like, yeah, but how did she die? Radioactive, Chernobyl thing. I don't know. Like radioactive bomb tests that she got cancer from. That's huge. That's iconic. Bad way to go, but that's iconic. I also feel like Darian was the least funny, and that was weird because Darian won an acting challenge on her original season. And James has never been in an acting challenge before. I mean, she has now, but you get what I mean. Like, for me, Darian was the worst, followed by Alexis, really. And finally, Candy, Jessica, and Jimbo. It was filthy for me, and I'm the type of gay that's like, girl, do whatever you want, If you want to do BDSM, go for it. But like for me, that was a little bit too filthy. And Jimbo was a good actress, but really, it was all kind of bland for me. The fact that Jimbo was the villain, we've already seen that before in Screech on Canada's Drag Race Season 2. It just kind of was like meh the entire time. So anyway, let's get to the runway. Category is As the World Turns. Let's start with James Mansfield. It was this Mexican heritage, Aztec, Toltec kind of, I will sacrifice you to the sun god for, 2 more years of good harvest, that type of tease. Her ass is great. It's padded, but, it looks great. She looks great. The thing is that Monica Beverly Hills and Jessica Wilde on the first episode did Egyptian type stuff. So I'm kind of getting tired of the old world civilization type tease. But I get it. Like, she wanted to do her Mexican heritage, and she looks fabulous. But it was kind of giving me that old world pyramid type stuff. Up next, let's talk about Darian Lake. First off, love the colors. The colors of the copper and the hair, it looked great. The problem was that it was a basic bodysuit. It was basic look. And also, her ass was out. It was fabulous. As the World Turns. I liked it. But I just feel like it was a little bit too simplistic for Drag Race. It looked good, don't get me wrong, and I would wear it, definitely. But again, it was kind of meh. Next up is Alexis Michelle, bride on her wedding day. Bam, her dress ripped, and bam, you can see her ass. I liked this. It was a very, very good, clean interpretation of it. That being said, meh. Again, it was a little bit underwhelming. It was giving Valentina. White runway mixed with, ass hanging out. It was a far stretch, and something that exquisite should not have its ass cut out. But that's just me. That's just little old me. Let's talk about Team Jimbo, starting with Jimbo. I did not like this look. It was my least favorite look of the night because it was just boobs, butt, and that was it. And her ass wasn't even out. It was the titty butt. And titty butts are my least favorite type of butts. I didn't like it. It was trying to be cyberpunk, but also it was trying to be couture. It was just bad. I didn't like it. It's a boot. Also, boot for the others. Okay, toot for James, boot for the other two. Well, toot for Alexis. I think that her look was fine. Anyway, next up, Jessica Wilde. Where's the ass? I mean, she revealed, but like, no thanks. It wasn't enough booty for me. I was doing this as if you could see. It wasn't enough booty for me. It was a little bit meh. It was a little bit, but again, it was a beautiful look on her. But again, it was just sort of plain. So it gets a boot. And finally, Candy Muse for this group. You know the people from Jabba's palace that are the slaves that dance for Jabba, and then one of them gets fed to the Rancor. That's what this was giving. It was that musical scene, the that's not Shackles by Mary Mary. That's the oh wow, the little bug guy singing. That's what it was giving, and there's nothing wrong with that. I liked the boobs and I liked the butt. The problem with this is, and I even liked the blush. I loved the blush. I think that it was a step up from the mutton chop blush that we got from Candy. The problem is that I just don't really think that she. It was like her Beast Couture was. This was the alien Judy's mom that was coming down to Earth, and I know it was something having to do, I think, with Lady Gaga, but it was very Candy's alien Judy mom coming down to Earth to save her daughter from humans. And I created this whole entire convoluted story for it that she didn't even think of. But it looked okay. It gets a toot. Finally, let's talk about Team Lalaurie, starting with Lalaurie. This was one of my least favorite looks because of the fact that the butt should have been the focal point, right? You have to do the assignment. I know she said there's a lot of small butts out there, all that. I get that. But at the same time, it's As the World Turns. You gotta have the booty, okay? This isn't you gotta add some padding to it. And other than that, it's a very Tamisha Iman color red, entrance look-esque look with just ass cutouts. It wasn't that great. It gets a boot from me. Next up, let's talk about Kahana Montrese. I liked it. It was very tongue-in-cheek with the giant syringe. She goes, "Did you notice my syringe, bitch? That's the only thing we can notice." It gets a toot. I enjoyed it. I think that it was a good look for Kahana. Finally, hiding in closet. This is how you do it. She came out as Eeyore. Eeyore. I'm sorry, I can't. Eeyore. This was my favorite look of the night because it was so unexpectedly Heidi. I would have gone this route. I would have, and my brother was like, Donkey from Shrek. And I said, no, it's Eeyore. And he goes, oh. Well, I would have done Donkey from Shrek because Donkey from Shrek is more iconic. I said, be quiet. My brother loves Winnie the Pooh. And I think that was the issue, is that you can't do Eeyore. You gotta have Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh is his favorite. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. Heidi's look was my favorite just because of the camp factor. So anyway, the skits went as I thought they would. But then RuPaul goes, Team Lalaurie, you are safe. This was my brother and my mom's reaction. the entire time, the judges critiqued, because they thought Lalaurie's group was going to be in the top. And I agreed with them. I think that this was them showing their cards too early, the producers. We know Jimbo is fabulous. But at the same time, we shouldn't be giving Jimbo all of these wins if she doesn't deserve them. I did not find anything hilarious about Jessica and them, other than the fact of some of the dirty jokes kind of made me blush. They weren't the worst, but I think they all should have been safe. And that Heidi's team should have been critiqued as high, and Heidi should have won. As for the other team, I totally agree they were in the bottom. It was very, very hard to watch because it was so unfunny. After the judges' critiques, Jimbo wins the challenge, which I was very mad at. Only because I think that, and I'll get into this at the end of the video, I think that this is a producer decision. So anyway, Jimbo wins, and the bottom three are Alexis, James, and Darian. And they all plead their case, and the lip sync assassin is revealed to be Chanel. Chanel is one of those queens that I would not peg as a lip sync assassin. I mean, I would now because she was a lip sync assassin, but I wouldn't have chosen her out of a lineup to be a lip sync assassin. I think that, but then the song starts playing. Freaks and Geeks, Bad Reputation by Joan Jett. Now, if you haven't seen Freaks and Geeks, you are missing out. Linda Cardellini, Jason Segel, Seth Rogen, James Franco, all kind of got their start on here. If you don't know who Linda Cardellini is, she is from the MCU. She plays Hawkeye's wife and Lila in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. She was also Velma from the original Scooby-Doo with Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr., and Matthew Lillard. As for Jason Segel, he was in The Muppets. He's also been in a lot of other TV shows, but he was in The Muppets. James Franco, The Room, Sausage Party. I think he was in Sausage Party. And he was in The Disaster Artist. Oz the Great and Powerful. Those types of movies. And Seth Rogen, if you don't know who Seth Rogen is, Monsters vs. Aliens. The Lion King remake is Pumbaa. The Mario movie as Donkey Kong. He's been in a lot of good movies. So I would totally check out Freaks and Geeks because it is so wild seeing all of these guys. Linda Cardellini is the main character. Jason Segel's her love interest. And I know James Franco's the bad boy, and I think Seth Rogen might be a stoner, but it is so delightfully camp. It is so fun. It is one of my favorite things. And the fact of the matter that this song plays at the beginning of each episode is just great. I would totally want you to check it out. Bad Reputation by Joan Jett is one of my favorite songs. It was also in Shrek. I think it's during where Lord Farquaad, Shrek tries to get his way into the cat. When we found out that it was on that CD, I flipped out. Anyway, this lip sync was garbage. I'm sorry. Chanel did not know the words. Jimbo knew the words, but again, she looked like Beetlejuice up there, just shaking. I would have given it to Jimbo. Really, I would have. I think that she embodied the song and knew the words. But Chanel wins. Whatever. And she reveals that the queens have chosen to vote out Darian Lake. And I totally agree. I think it was Darian's time to go. Also, my brother and my mom love the other two queens in the competition. Alexis is my mom's favorite to win. And Bennett loves James Mansfield because I got a cameo from her one time. because my brother didn't know how to pronounce her name and called it Jackson Monroe. And I said, no, it's James Mansfield. So she proceeded to call him Ben Gay Ferguson. Funguson, not Ferguson. Funguson. And he's not even gay. So anyway, I loved Darian. As for the game within a game, or Fame Games, rather, I, for one, think Nisha had the best look. I do. I love her butt. I'm sorry, I do. And it was not padded at all. My least favorite look from the Fame Game was Mrs. Kasha Davis. I didn't enjoy it. And Monica was good. So, with all that being said, I'm going to talk to you guys about, my top tweet of the week is Heidi. My bottom boot of the week is Jimbo. I just didn't like Jimbo's look. As for my final thoughts on this episode, the producers are showing their cards. I think going in, Jimbo has had the most exposure. She has character in the game of Drag Race Superstar. She was a frontrunner on UK versus the World before she was eliminated. She has fans out the wazoo wanting to help her. And I think that RuPaul loves Jimbo so much. The thing is that Jimbo does not deserve everything. She does not deserve wins that she necessarily doesn't need. And for me, I think that in the vein of All Stars 6, where on episode 4, it was Jan who won, and the fact of the matter, Jan who won, and the fact that it wasn't until Trinity's episode, second win, that, and I think that was Ginger. Wait, hold on. It was Yara, Raja, Trinity, Jan, Ginger, Kylie, Trinity. Episode 7, bitch. That we had a double winner. That was the tea. I mean, you can't have Jimbo winning, 2 out of the 4 episodes. That doesn't make any sense. And you could have given it to Heidi. Heidi wants to quit. She doesn't have what it takes anymore because she's not getting wins. Give her a win. Give her a reason to continue in the competition. And I think it is a systematic thing of we're going to give Jimbo a bunch of wins, even if she doesn't deserve them. As for who I see in the top, I see Jimbo, because the producers love Jimbo. And I love Jimbo. I think that she is going to win. I mean, she is my front runner to win. But the problem is that I'm a believer that, that if other people deserve a win, they deserve a win. Like with Ginger Minj. I was Team Ginger Minj on All-Star 6. The amount of times that she won was twice. Because there was always somebody that deserved it more. Do I think that Ginger could have won the American Horror Story? Absolutely, but Kylie killed it. Do I think that she could have won, say, the talent show? Yes, Yara Sofia deserved it. Well, Scarlett deserved it, but we're not going to talk about that. Anyway, my final thoughts on the episode is don't show your cards. Producers, you can't keep doing this. There are a lot of queens in the competition still left. You need to have your cards picked out. Anyway, what do you guys think? We still need to name this guy back here. I have been Jacob Ferguson. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.